Ben.
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
What do we know about Porter? Is he going to play this week?
Oh, man. Yeah, Porter prediction, bad business to be in. I will say I think there's a chance we see him. I was a little surprised we didn't see him in the home finale against Arkansas, but I think at this point it just comes down to whether or not he wants to get out there. It's kind of an interesting situation. Missouri has an at-large bid locked up. They don't have to worry about creating a tournament appearance in the SEC tournament. Even if they lose the first game, they're going to get a tournament game. So there is a thought that if he can get out there and play, it's kind of a test run to see how he would perform in a tournament setting. But at this point, he's been cleared. I think the Tigers want him to play. It's just a matter of if he feels good enough and if he wants to get out there.
We'll wait and see. But we don't know why he didn't play over the weekend.
Well, you kind of got to connect the dots a little bit. He released a statement that said, he just didn't feel like he was quite ready yet. Conzo Martin has been pretty clear that at this point, if he's not out there, it's because it's his decision. So he's practiced. The team, I think, has given him the good to go, and it's a matter of if he wants to try to do it
when he's ready. All right.
Right. Yeah. It's an interesting. Well, the whole thing has been interesting, and I think it's going to continue to be interesting. Nothing seems to go quite according to plan when it comes to this subject. So there seemed to be a thought that he could give it a go in the tournament. What that looks like, and if he decides to ultimately do that, I don't know. I mean, every time we think he's about to be back, he hasn't been.
Yeah.
So that trend could continue as well.
All right. I know it's only March 5th. And baseball has just started. But when can we start worrying about this Miles? And how do you say his last name? Mikolas? There's a Bernie Mikolas. Is this Miles Mikolas' brother? Should we start worrying about this guy yet?
Well, look, it is early, but I think it's safe to say these aren't the results that you'd love to have. And Mikolas has gone out there now twice and not pitched very well. He knew all eyes were going to be on him as he came back from Japan. And I think what guys have seen, not so much the results, the results haven't been as concerning as maybe the approach. What worked for him in Japan hasn't worked in 2 spring training starts. Now, is there time to get back on track and show a sharper pitch and a better way to get guys out? Yes. But is it not great that you had 2 starts where you're getting pretty much shelled? Yeah, that's not very good. Now the Cardinals seem to be less worried than the rest of us. They're pretty confident in him. They still think he projects well for the majors. But I think it's fair to look at his starting pitching right now and go, man, this is a little scary. I mean, Adam Wainwright has been okay. He has been better than he was last year, but that's not saying that much.
Right.
You've got Carlos Martinez, who's missed the start for reasons we don't know, for personal reasons that are just out there. And then you've got Miles, who struggled. So, I said going into camp, the one thing I thought the Cardinals left on the table is I thought they should have added another starter, somebody with some veteran experience who could kind of increase the competition for a spot in the rotation, and they were confident in what they had. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I think it's safe to be a little concerned about what we've seen from Miles so far.
You know the rules better than I do. Can the Cardinals sign Lance Lynn, or do they have to wait till the middle of May before they can sign him?
No, they can sign him. They can sign him whenever.
Whenever they want to. Yeah.
Anybody can sign anybody whenever. There's still a lot of free agents out there. I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they like the idea of getting that pick. I don't think they are real optimistic about what Lance Lynn is going to do this season. He had some numbers that weren't too great and didn't project too well for this season last year. But I've been a big advocate of Lance. I think he is proven. I think he is gritty. I think he adds a presence to a team the Cardinals could use. And I still think he's going to figure out some place to go that is going to give him more than he would have gotten if he accepted that qualifying offer. These guys, they might not get signed soon, but when games start to matter and when seasons are on the line, I have a feeling these guys are going to start to get ticked off.
We'll wait and see what happens. All right, now, you're an expert in this game, Ben Frederickson. Let me ask you this question. This new 6-meeting rule on the mound, which is somewhat perplexing. If the pitcher and Matheny meet at first base, does that count as a meeting?
Yeah, I think anytime a manager goes out there and has a conversation with the pitcher, I believe that counts, even if it's not specifically on the mound.
What's if the pitcher and the third baseman have a meeting at third base? Does that count as a meeting?
My understanding is that yes, meetings with infielders count as well.
Even if it's not, even if it's not on the mound. Even if it's not on the mound.
So yeah, I don't think you can just export the meeting and have it not count. I just wondered, what if you just stand? Why not just stand on the mound? No one comes to you, but you just yell really loud.
Right.
Maybe create some code words or something of that nature.
This doesn't make any sense to me, because now the seventh meeting, you're going to have to take the pitcher out of the game, right? Which, in a sense, makes the game longer because the new pitcher has to take his time warming up.
Well, yeah. I mean, they just won't get to 7 without wanting to change pitchers. Will be the way it works. But I really don't know how many times. I mean, there are only a few catchers who go out there that much, so I don't know that this is even going to be an issue that much at all. It will probably be one of those things that you forget happens, and then it's like a really important game, and some team forgets, and there's a 7th meeting, and then all of a sudden it completely ruins a great game, or some guy has to exit like a no-hitter because there was a and then everybody gets mad about the rule. And I mean, this is going to be a nightmare, and it's going to be also one of those things where the umpires probably won't count all of the meetings as meetings.
Right.
That's what I think might happen. Is like there will be unofficial meetings, things that don't count. Apparently, they were thinking about maybe creating some spot for it on the scoreboard where everybody can see how many it's counted. But just to me, it's just to what end? It's going to shave 30 seconds off of the average game over the course of the season. I mean, I don't know. To me, it seems like a lot of trouble to get to what end. I don't really understand it. I think we're probably not going to see it enforced. And then when we do, it'll probably be one of those situations where it comes at a really bad time.
I don't see. I mean, it seems like you're worried about the leak in the faucet, and there's no roof in the house, because every pitcher and batter steps out after every pitch and changes their batting glove at every other pitch.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's other things they can do. They don't enforce guys staying in the box.
Right.
The commercials are a big part of it. But they don't seem to want to rush those away,
right?
Because those make money. And another thing that cracks me up is that the game, all they want is more offense. They want to increase the amount of balls in play. They want to not investigate why the balls are flying out of stadiums at an alarming rate. There have been more investigations into the composition of the baseball done by outside parties, including media members, than the league has done. Imagine that. You have the home runs come back like more than there were in the steroid era. Yet you're testing for steroids. So clearly something is up with the baseballs. And there's been more investigations done by media members and media organizations than the league has done. They've shown no interest in finding that out. More offense leads to longer games.
Yeah.
The fastest games are the best defense and the best pitching. When guys are hitting home runs, the games are longer. But the league doesn't care about that because they know people like home runs. So their emphasis seems to be all over the place. And I think that they need to get their priorities in line a little bit here if they want us to believe that they really just want to shorten games. We'll
see what happens. Ben, Fred, have a good week at the SEC tournament. We'll enjoy your column at stltoday.com and your fine broadcasting skills here on the Big 550 KTRS. Thanks, Ben.